So with the League SBCs, it means bronze packs are doing numbers. We'll be able to see quite a few players actually going for a bit of price now. And mainly, yes, we'll be looking at the Lib and Suds and everybody in between. We have a lot more to grind and a lot more packs to open. And the bronzes are still flying. They are now eventually getting out to some decent profit again. We obviously was waiting for the League SBCs to either stock our clubs to be able to do the League SBCs that little bit quicker, but also we are able to now make a little bit of profit if we don't want to grind any SBCs, which is always nice. Now, obviously, the vast majority of players are still going to be untradeable. They're not necessarily going to be really worth too much, but there is most definitely going to be an insertion of players now that could be worth something. And most definitely as we go through, like we've always said with these SBCs, it may not be the right now, but potentially in the future. It's why we hold on to a lot of the players that don't sell instantly, especially, well, more than likely, if anything, the rares. They are going to get to a point, like every single year in FC, in FIFA, they always have a point where they're at least 200. And that might not sound crazy, but if you've got, say, 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, or even 100 rares in your club and you sell them all instantly for 200, that does make a good amount of profit amongst everything else that you're going to pack in this. Now, obviously, League SBCs, you're not necessarily going to find crazy prices on absolutely everybody. There might be a couple of players. If you look through Futbin and see any of the players or any themes, you might find it. Predominantly, the Lib and Sud are going to be very much in the know because they are two leagues that will control two different sides of the League SBC grind, the minor and also the premium upgrade. So they are going to be the ones that I personally would look at the most because naturally they're going to be incredible. The rest of everybody else, I'd probably just kind of keep in the club or either sell off if you can. So realistically, what you're looking for here now is managers are always going to be incredible. There might be an occasional kit that might go for it, but to be honest, I've really stopped looking. The stadium themes and all of them are going to be just well worth putting into the bin every single time. Naturally, some rares might be up, but realistically, they're going to be held as an investment later on because even if I say that they go to 200 instant sell, there'll always be some that go up way more than that. It requires 11 rares and you can use bronzes, but it needs to be one nation. You know, all major nations, we've seen bronzes go to 500. I've seen them at 1.2k max, and that was last minimum, and that was last year. So there is always chance that these go up massively. And obviously with the upgrade packs that we've got, it's just going to give you more and more kind of supply to be able to grind out. Normally I do find 1 or 2 days in, the Lib and Sud definitely become a lot harder to pack, but like we've seen in previous ones, we're always getting between 250 and 350 coins back, meaning we're only spending what, 3 to 450 on the pack in its entirety. So if you manage to get a player that does sell for 1,000, you've made a couple packs back, not just one. So it is well worth looking at in general. Now, obviously, you will have looks like this one's probably my worst spell of kind of bronze SBCs, bronze BPMing. And I did get a manager prior to this. I think I got a, I want to say French manager, I want to say, that went for 2,500. So it's definitely an up and down, but most definitely having the coins to be able to grind this out. It is a simple process. May not be the most thrilling, to say the least, but in general, getting your club to a very nice and stable level is going to be what's well worth it. And naturally, even if, like I say, they don't necessarily go into anything now, it is well worth looking at to kind of keep in the club, because what I do find, once you get to the point where everybody's duplicates, you've obviously sold everybody that's good. If you do get a duplicate player and then you look at that player specifically and think, okay, well, actually, he does go for something, you've got 2 of them. So it works out even better. Same with the managers. Anybody that's not crazy priced, I will just keep in the club once, because then I just know that they're not worth anything. And I can obviously go ahead and not sell them. I can just go ahead and straight discard them. If it's a major nation, I might have a quick look just in case. And we finally get our first Libertadores player here. You'll see a lot of the people are like trying to max them out at 1.5. At the moment, I think they're coming in about a K, maybe just under, but they will kind of spike up and down in price massively over the next few days. And most definitely as we get into new packs, once we get into a grinding territory again, you will find that they will just keep coming about every single time. They'll get to a point where they rest, but naturally at the start, they're always going to be that slight bit more expensive. Then obviously you do have some of the managers, like I say, they are a minimum of 200, so you could potentially get a cheeky one from him, but we're going to hold him off for the moment and just see if he does manage to rise that little bit more. And naturally, because the Bundesligas are not selling just yet, I'll wait for them. I'll hold on to some of them because naturally they may not be as useful for the League SBC right now, because obviously everybody's got a lot of golds. We've had no League SBC, so everybody's using their club. It's not to throw everything away straight away for the quick money. It's holding off for when eventually you burn through your golds. Eventually you need that silver player, that bronze player to go in to make the difference. And there you go. There's the easy 500, 400, even 200 coins. It's nice and extra. I've not seen that before. It's nice and extra to be able to have for when the prices are right. Don't just go and take the easy cash, because sometimes they can rise, and it can rise pretty well. Now, obviously, like I say, you're going to need a little bit of cash to start this off. It's not necessarily going to be a very kind of quick method to get you instant cash, but it's a very long process that does work out in the future. So like for instance, we sell them for 750, that saves the price, and then obviously if anybody else in here does manage to sell, but realistically, as you see, we managed to put an extra, say we round it to 300 on top. So say we've sold 300, 700, we've got 1,000 coins. That's done this pack and probably a previous one as well. So the more you get, and we've had multiple Lib and Suds in packs, it's just about the sheer quantity. So it is a very easy grind to kind of get going, especially if you have got the coins. And then, like I say, once you manage to get a lot of duplicates as well, you get around all of the bronzes, you then start to discard them that don't sell in general. You start to make more profit. The only reason why I keep them is just purely to see if I've got any profit from them in general. Like for instance, we get 48 coins from him that we normally won't get. That's just because there's no point putting him in the storage. There's no point leaving him in kind of any sort of capacity in a transfer list to wait for him to go up, because you'll be here for absolutely weeks if they don't go up straight away. So discarding them is just going to be the easy route, because naturally it's just a very easier method to kind of grind through. We had another one coming in. Again, certain positions might do a little bit better, but I think the chemistry is so easy in it that I wouldn't say there'd be a massive kind of golfing class in price there. Normally we had like left and right wings would go up, and they would be the kind of forefront of what you're looking for, or centre backs, because naturally I think in the last one there was either a free at the back or something along the lines. But chemistry is so easy now that they have made it slightly kind of more obtainable to be able to grind this out for even less. But in terms of the profits that you can get back, is always nice with the right amount of pulls. Like I said, I've not even got a manager in this. Sometimes you can go back-to-back Lib and Sud, back-to-back managers that really do something. So they are going to be well worth doing at the very minimum. And like I say, you find someone from Bayern Munich, if there ever comes an SBC that requires 1 minimum or even 3 minimum Bayern Munich players, you know him specifically will go up. And once you've put your untradeable ones in that SBC, you sell off the ones that are tradable, because that's how you make it. You bring it back and you kind of keep grinding around like that. So it is a constant theme of just opening, checking, having a look, and then obviously selling off what really doesn't necessarily sell right now. And also a big in fact, if you do manage to get some of the MLS, you get anybody that isn't ever going to get into a League SBC, but potentially could be a nice Evo, they're obviously going to be well worth it when we do eventually get an Evo. That's going to be another one that you can kind of keep in your club and then think, for instance, if you look at Premier League rares, I wouldn't necessarily be putting them into the League SBC just because they have a chance of a big evolution that would probably do what Rashford did for his price. It absolutely goes up in levels. So naturally it's going to be one that I would really suggest having a look and kind of seeing what we can go for. So if you're looking for coins, head over to Eldorado.gg. There is huge amounts of verified sellers on Eldorado, and there is a money back guaranteed by TradeShield. If that's not enough, there is 24/7 live support and also plenty of reviews across websites that will definitely put your mind at ease. And as always, before you check out, make sure that you are using the code JT11 for 5% off every single order. Back to the video. But overall, it is just an easy method to grind out whilst you're doing everything else. Obviously, putting some money into it is always a nice way. It's been a way for the past, to be honest, since SBCs have been out. They are such an up and down method, but as long as you stay consistent with them, League SBC, Bronze Pack method, putting everything together, it really does work in abundance. And it's why I say, even with doing the BPM and maybe keeping the Lib and Suds, you then save yourselves from buying them yourselves and maybe selling off what you kind of don't need, or if you do manage to get it pretty easy, even then you can get some tradable packs back. It is a very interesting, rather than spending, for instance, like 11k, 12, 13k on all of the Lib and Suds, you've managed to pack a few, you've managed to do some upgrades with maybe some players that don't sell. You kind of get your SBCs done and you can sell anything that's tradable there, and it does work out in the end pretty well for everything. So let me know down below how you're getting on with all of your grinding. We obviously have got a League SBC method up on the channel if you want to check that out, and I'll catch you all for that next one. Make sure you like and subscribe. Wow, funky hair.